Please again informed less than 1 minute to close the voting. Okay, now the election chair is coming up to the stage, and I believe he says something.
Thank you very much, Chairman. It's now 2 p.m. and we have already sealed the ballot box. Thank you very much, everyone, for your votes. Our election tellers are counting the votes as we speak, and the scrutineers, the two neutral scrutineers, are already escorting and invigilating that process. So they'll be moving the ballot box to a private room and to commence counting, and hopefully the results will be ready by 3:15 p.m. The entire process will be supervised by the election scrutineers, Mark Costas from Erin and Emilio from Wright. Now, just to remind you, if for any reason you have any complaint regarding the conduct of the election, you must lodge this in writing to me, the election chair. I will be floating around at the back and near the counter at the registration desk outside should you need to rush that written letter of complaint stating exactly the reasons for your complaint. And this must be lodged no later, according to the rules, no later than 1 hour before the scheduled declaration of the elections. So that means by 2:15, that is in 14 minutes time, you must lodge your written complaint or notice to me. This notice of a written complaint must be lodged by members through their authorized voting representatives or nominees directly with the election chair. So any of the nominees here who wish to lodge a complaint, please do so to me directly using a written notice. So with that, Chairman, may I proceed with the election process?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. The election process is really smoothly handled by the great election chair. Thank you very much, Naveen. Okay, then let's start again our business. Afternoon session will consist of the reports from the lot of sessions. First, the Izumi Okutani starting the afternoon session with her report from the NIRC. Thank you, Izumi.
Good afternoon. I'm Izumi Okutani, Chair of NIRC, and I just like to give an update of the discussions we had at NIRC. So it's basically a SIG that exchanges information about activities of what each NIRs are doing, and also for APNIC to share their activities and services that's related to NIRs. And although it is called NIRC, the participation is open to anybody, so non-NIRs can attend the session, and we also have a mailing list that anyone can subscribe to. And well, I myself is speaking here, but I also have our co-chair, Jessica Cheng from CNIC, sitting over there. She's a co-chair, so we work closely together in coordinating the SIG. And just to introduce the current NIRs, we have 7 NIRs in this region. IDNIC from Indonesia, CNIC from China, JPNIC Japan, KRNIC of KISA from Korea, and sorry, I have the old logo. I wasn't able to obtain the latest one, but IRENE from India, TWNIC from Taiwan, VNIC from Vietnam. So these are the 7 NIRs that we have in this region. So the SIG, it was Tuesday morning, and we had roughly 70 to 40 attendees. It's quite a small, cozy session, but we had more attendees than usual, which was a good thing. I saw a couple of new faces, non-NIRs, and 4 updates from NIRs about their activities from Irene, CNIC, VNIC, TWNIC, and Miwa Huji from APNIC has also shared IPv6 at APNIC and what are the activities that APNIC is doing to statistics or outreach to the economies. And as the last agenda topic, we also had very, well, our time was limited, but discussions about how NIR-SIG should move in the future. So just to introduce a couple of major points, it was quite notable that we had the update from Irene this time because it was the first time that they've given us an update of their activities after they set up an NIR as a new Indian NIR. And according to their report, they currently have 71 affiliates. That's what they call their account holders, and expected to have 240 affiliates by March next year. So the membership is seeing growing. And I found it interesting that they support 8 languages and have been conducting roadshows to do more outreach about the activities and about V6 promotion. And as you can see, I've highlighted a couple of few points, and my observation was what was common with all NIRs are doing some kind of outreach activities related to V6. So for example, CNIC is giving a training to their LIRs on how to upgrade their DNS to support IPv6 under the government project. VNIC is organizing an event in May this year as a national V6 event to celebrate their V6 launch event that was held last year, and this time in Ho Chi Minh City. And they're also doing a project to promote small and medium ICT enterprises to support V6 in ASEAN countries. TWNIC doing training program on V6 routing, and I think they also do a regular training, and I thought it was great that they already had 3,000 attendees for their training program so far. And they also provide a manual for their ISPs on V6 deployment. And there was a call from Miwa from APNIC to, after sharing data about each economy's V6 deployment status, collaboration, welcome with NIRs on the kind of work that APNIC is doing. And the last agenda was the future of NIR-SIG. And the idea was that we have been conducting the session in a SIG format for a long time, mostly for historical reasons. But the current session that is held in SIG format is just policy SIG and NIR SIG. And in the past, we used to have proposals at NIR SIG, so that's why we need to call it a SIG, and we have clearly defined election process, and people need to submit a public call for presentation, and we need these kind of formalities. However, observing from the contents of NIR-SIG in the past 5 years, we haven't had any proposals, and it's mostly updates from NIRs. And we're very, and it's usually all NIRs want to give their updates. So just make it like a regular session, maybe similar to global reports, to give chance to all NIRs to give updates, and just not have a formality of having election or having to submit request for presentation, etc. And there wasn't any concerns expressed or opposition expressed at the session. But since the time was limited, we'll continue to seek for comments on the mailing list if people have any questions. And then if there are no strong concerns, then we'll try under a new format. Probably, for example, call it NIR report session instead of a SIG from the coming meeting in APNIC 36. There were other related discussions on perhaps we should have more area-focused information exchanges, for example, on activities and outreach we do on IPv6 or V4 transfers, DNSSEC, RPKI, many things that NIRs do common for our activities. So maybe we can think of better ways on how we can exchange information and keep discussions in this area. And there was one more issue that was brought up, which was not just based on what NIRs do, but share information on economy basis. So maybe we can hear what the government is doing in the NIR's economy or the situation in general, for example, on IPv6 deployment in each of the economies and things like that. So these were some other discussions that was made at the end of the session. So the next step is we'll have a comment period. We'll keep it the same as policy proposals, 8 weeks comment period to see if we're going to try the non-SIG format from APNIC 36. And if there's no strong opposition, we'll call it like another kind of session for NIRs. That's one thing. And for the issues that has been raised, which I mentioned as related discussion topics, we didn't really have a concrete idea on the future direction. So myself as chair and co-chair will consider what can be done and we'll share ideas on the mailing list and we'll continue discussions on a better way on exchanging information on these other related issues. That's all from me. And I'd like to, it seems that I usually come up on the microphone, but Jessica Shen has done a lot of work actually in, organizing the agendas. I really like to thank her and also Sunny from APNIC Secretariat. You've done a lot of, help and support for us. So thank you so much.
Okay. Question.
Okay.
Izumi. Question. Rajesh Charia from IRIN.
Mm-hmm.
As you are now dissolving the SIG NIR and you are just putting the update of NIR into the committee, if any concern or any issue faced by the NIR, so that can be going to APNIC EC through NIR SIG or can be presented directly to the SIG. What was the last system or what will be the future system?
So you're saying like besides the update, if there are any issues you want to discuss, for example, I don't know, voting or like fee-related issues that concerns NIR, would it be possible to discuss in this new format? Is that your question?
Yeah.
I think I personally would like to accommodate and to have accept that kind of agenda and have like an open contact so that if people have any interest to discuss a topic that is besides the report session, I would like to allow that. But this is my personal opinion, and for that particular issue, I would like to, seek for comments on the mailing list.
Let's assume that into the NIR, if we are all the NIRs are finalizing in one issue, that will be referred to the SIG or that will be going directly to the EC, APNIC EC, for decision.
Can you give an example? I mean, definitely not just be decided on.
Let's take the example of the fees. Mm-hmm. All the NIR are facing right now that 190% of the premium on the existing fee is quite high. And all the NIRs are deciding that we should reduce this 190% to 100% or 150%. At that time, this complete process, if all the NIRs agree, this will be going through the SIG or it will be going directly to the APNIC EC.
Oh.
All right. I will make a comment. Thank you very much, Rajesh. Yeah. Setting a fee is the responsibility of the Executive Council, as you know. And NIRC is now, Izumi is now considering about the new format of the NIRC. And anyway, the opinion from the National Internet Registries will be well heard by the Executive Council for our consideration. Then we keep that, even if the SIG format for the NIRC changed. So I'm pretty sure for that. Then, if so, do you have any comment?
No, fees was just an example. Yes. Otherwise, any other issues, which is regarding the allocation or procedural issue, that will be discussed into the NIRC and then it will be going directly to the APNIC EC or it will be going through the simple proposal of the SIG. Because right now we are speaking NIR SIG, means it is a parallel SIG of the NIR.
I'm not very clear about the process. To be very frank, this part is ambiguous, and but the point is that it's the same even under the current NIRC format as well. So the only part that will change is that it's not going to be called a SIG, and we will continue to have a kind of session that allows NIRs to discuss issues, for example, fee or whatever other issues that you're interested to discuss as NIRs. And then I think depending on if it's a fee issue, then we can give that input to the EC, or if it's something related to address policy, then we should share that input to address some policy SIG. So we can't decide things on our own, so it always has to be the decision should be made to another kind of process, following the regular standard APNIC process. And it's actually, even as NIR6 as it is the same. That part hasn't changed. Okay. And just to clarify one point, we're going to make it a sleeping SIG, so we're not going to totally resolve the SIG. So if there are needs in the future that we need to, organize in the SIG format, we can always revitalize. But we'll just call it a different name and then keep it a sleeping SIG for a while, just to see.
So just now you are proposing that the NIR updates. Mm-hmm. We can see that the NIR SIG and updates. If we are not using SIG, we can use the update, and if we are using update, the update.
Yes, so we'll do the update sessions, and then if in the future, like some issue come up that we really need the SIG format, we can revitalize the SIG. That's my point.
Then in my opinion, we should continue with the SIG.
Okay. Oh, okay, so instead of, if we're going to keep it a sleeping SIG, you'd rather keep it as a SIG. Okay.
Thank you very much, and the Izumi covered quite exhaustive thing. So that's great, Masato.
Okay, Masato from SoftBank. It is a comment as a delegate of SoftBank, not comment from as well co-chair. Since voting right and fees is related with all members, not only NIR members. So I want to express strong concern discussing these things within NIR members.
Okay.
Thanks for that input. But just to add, we of course don't decide anything as NIR on our own, and I think if there will be some discussions in the future, for example, if we do, then we always make sure we share with wider membership rather than just discussing closely within NIR on our own, just to clarify with your concern.
Again, I'm Masato SoftBank. Then the reason why I express concern is I cannot understand well the benefit discussing these things only within NIR members, because voting right or fees are related with all members, so it should be discussed among all members.
I totally agree with your points. Yes.
Masato, your point is, I think, well taken. Reason why currently the all policies are discussed in the policy SIG is avoiding such a situation where the NIR things is only discussed among the NIR. So that's the reason to have all policy discussion in the policy SIG. And for the fee, yes, I said that's the power, the discretion of the executive council. But we don't do, for example, the discussion of the fee just among the NIR, but the executive council is actually responsible for the setting fee to make the proper balance between NIR and non-NIR members. So if you have some concern, yes, APNIC member meeting is a really good chance for you to express. So I appreciate your comment. Thank you very much.
Hope to discuss more on the mailing list. There's some comments I'd like to make regarding that, but I think better to discuss on the NIR6 mailing list or for further.
Then NIR6 is not closed, but open for everyone. So that's another point. Thank you, Izumi. Okay. Next report is from PPAC, which is standing for Public Policy Advisory Committee. And I believe Naveen is now coming up.
Honorable members of the Executive Council and the members of the community present here. A very good afternoon to all of you. My name is Naveen Tandon. I'm here along with my co-chair Shyam Nayak to present the first session, inaugural session report of Public Policy Advisory Committee. So before the session was conducted, we prepared a draft agenda because it was equally important given the fact that this committee intends to be a truly multi-stakeholder committee. It was important that we have engagement of the community, government, industry, academia, technical community, all from the very beginning. And the starting point certainly was the agenda. So this was the agenda because given the fact that we had 90 minutes, it was important for us to have discussion on what issues will be discussed and to transact some business, share some best practices, and hear what the community members would like to discuss in the committee. So in this 90 minutes, we have tried to allocate and try to balance all the issues. We had, followed by the welcome, we had the discussion on structure, functioning, periodicity of the meetings, etc. Then we had an interactive session on what issues we would like to take up in this committee in times to come. And we had certainly, we're thankful to Dean, Mr. Aram Agrawal and Manoj for making individual presentations on very important issues. And then we ended the meeting with a way forward for the next APNIC. Some of the quick facts before we move on to the next, our next slides. The inaugural session was held on 26th of February. The duration was 90 minutes. It was well attended and with active participation. Our sincere thanks to everyone who participated. Around 90 participants attended the session. It was a great turnaround. It includes both members who were present in person and through remote hubs. Stakeholders from all categories, government, industry, technical, academia community, everybody attended the session. Important point, we truly had a gender balance in this session, and it reflects true multi-stakeholderism and the interest of the community. Discussions hovered around on content and functioning of PPAC. A quick word about PPACs. Its role will be to work with APNIC on matters related to public policy issues for development of internet in the region. It will discuss issues to foster sustainability, security, stability, and development of the internet and facilitate the information and exchange of ideas and best practices. Next 2-3 slides will provide an update on the summary of discussions which happened because there were mixed thoughts coming up. There were thoughts on having this forum to have a dialogue on various public policy issues related to the internet, something similar to the manner in which Internet Governance Forum meetings are held. Certainly, there was an importance highlighted on inclusion of government as a stakeholder through a planned outreach program was highlighted and felt imperative by all. All stakeholders need to be made part of decision making irrespective of numbers. Importance was also felt to have an inclusive dialogue, need to assess the impact of technical policies on the growth of internet and how it empowers communities. Planned purpose and role of PPACs to be an informal discussion. This was another thought which came up that we should have a forum to discuss informally, share of ideas and discussions, focus, because there is a clear-cut focus presently on what APNIC should do. So the forum should continue to move in that direction, and there might be some issues which might be contextual, but that can be discussed in background, but it should not become a focus. Agenda should cover topics of challenges being faced by APNIC community. Outcome, because it is important to measure the outcome of the committee, it would be helpful if it helps promote sharing of information and perspective and best practices from all stakeholders. PPAC's APNIC Secretariat, and this comment came from the government stakeholder that they should continue to provide the required support to share policy development with the stakeholders for consultation of benefit of the internet in the region. Government certainly needs to be part of the discussion as a key stakeholder, helpful because it is important that for them to understand each other's perspective for better deliberation and outcomes. So in the middle of all these discussions and the thought process which came up, we felt it was important to perhaps form a small subcommittee, small group of 4 people who can help work on a draft rules for structure, functioning, agenda, periodicity of PPAC meetings. So we had 4 volunteers, Dean Pemberton from Principal Consultant Internet New Zealand, Lina Green, Dr. Govind, and Amrita Chaudhary. So we had, again, in the subcommittee, we have ensured gender balance and truly multi-stakeholderism who will work and submit a report before the next EC on how we should work upon. The next agenda was to have an interactive session. Given the first session we wanted, it is important that we discuss issues relating to internet, so we never wanted to impose any particular topic of discussion, be it security, spam, access and diversity or of internet. We thought it is important that members should pick up their comments and prepare a report so that it may be a good way of exchanging facilitation of ideas and information best practices. But given the first session, there were not many takers, so we, as a next step, we will certainly, before the next session, we will call for papers from members of the community who would like to present on topics of interest relating to internet in the region. Then we had this individual presentations by Mr. Dean Pemberton on Internet New Zealand policy, public policy framework. He talked about the activities being undertaken and it was very supportive of this effort. We had a presentation from one of the government stakeholders from Government of India on critical internet resources and what are the related policies of IPv6 from Government of India. Then we had an excellent presentation from Mr. Manoj Mishra, Cable and Wireless India, on regulatory environment for internet services and financial position of Indian telecom sector. Taking the next step, PPAC session, and we are very thankful for APNIC EC for providing the encouragement and the support to hold the meetings for next 3 years. It will be held at every APNIC meeting, APNIC conference and apricot for the coming 3 years. Certainly, the 3 years we will certainly like to go ahead. Emphasis of discussion certainly to be on transforming internet to Equinet. This is a very important discussion which came up, that there is a need to have an outreach program for a wider engagement of government as a stakeholder in the deliberation of PPAC and required support. The required level of protocol as applicable will certainly need to be maintained as applicable. Mandate of PPAC certainly needs to include all policy matters relating to internet, and subcommittee submitted reports to the chairs of working group before the next APNIC. The discussion will continue. Here are the useful links through which anybody who is not member of the working group government can certainly become. And with this, I end my presentation and offer myself for questions or clarifications. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much. Any questions or comments? Dean is coming.
Please.
Hi, Dean Pemberton from Internet New Zealand. I just wanted to clarify one point on, I think it's the last slide. What's the last slide?
Okay. This one?
Yes. I wondered what it was referred to of the mandate of PPAC. The mandate of PPAC needs to include all policy matters relating to the internet. I wondered if you could just clarify that.
Sure. By this point, we meant that when we conceptualized the thought process on forming this committee, it was felt imperative that all the broader issues relating to the internet, as it affects the community, should be taken up. What actually will be deliberated will depend upon session to session, whether in next session you want to talk about only IP addressing scheme or spam or security. But certainly the only benefit will, and as a chair, I feel that this, and I believe certainly that the benefit of this committee will certainly have, if we have more discussion on content and exchange ideas on new issues, because internet affects everyone, it connects to everybody. So there cannot be a 5 issues or 6 issues relating to internet. So the more broader we have, the better exchange of ideas and discussions we'll have, which will be helpful for the community. That's what the mandate word here means.
Okay, that helps to clarify the breadth. I think one thing that we will need to be cognizant of is that we focus on public policy matters within the PPAC, and we focus on technical matters like, as you mentioned, IP address allocation and all that we focus on those
Right.
within the policy SIG.
Right.
So, yep, mandate of PPAC needs to include all public policy matters relating to the internet. That sounds great.
Certainly, yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions? Okay. Thank you very much, Naveen.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Next, we will have the Chifu Chen for APIX report.
Hi, good afternoon. I present APIX update on behalf of APIX, and the slide set actually was prepared by Toyama-san, but he's now back to Japan, so I'm doing it for the organization. What is APIX? I think I explained it before. We are an association of Internet Exchange Points, IXPs, in Asia-Pacific region. We are very much like Euro-IX in Europe. Our objectives is to share information about technical, operational, and business issues and solutions regarding Internet exchanges. And right now we have 15 members, 15 IXPs as our members, including BDIX from Bangladesh, HKIX from Hong Kong, where I'm from, PPIX, Dixie, JPIX, JPNet from Japan, Kings from Korea, IIX from Indonesia, Nixie from India, MyIX from Malaysia, NPIX from Nepal, SGIX and SOX from Singapore, VNIX from Vietnam, and APNIC from all around Asia Pacific. And we have some other IXPs in Asia Pacific which show their interest to join APIX, so we welcome them, and actually we are talking to them, and hopefully our list of members will be longer next time. And this is our meeting history. This week we had our 7th meeting, and we did have very good turnout. We had 40 people from all around Asia Pacific and Europe, and representing 14 IXP members of our organization. And we hope we can get more and more people involved going forward. And these are the participant lists. I won't go through it. Regarding this meeting, we have confirmed our logo. And this is our logo. And I think it's quite good. So going forward, we'll use it. And another important matter that we decided at the meeting is we went through the very first formal steering committee election, and this is the members elected. We have myself from HKIX, Raphael Ho from APNIC, Toyama-san from JPNet. We have 5 positions, but we only have 3 candidates, so we have 2 vacancies, and hopefully next time we can fill up the remaining seats. And for the terms, we have 2 years. And here I would like to say thanks to Gareth and also Kato-san. They have been involved in the formation of APIX during the formation period. Unfortunately, they didn't. They were not our candidates, so we could not, vote for them. But hopefully next time they would agree to go through the election. And of course, other people from other IXPs, if they are interested, you're welcome to participate. And we also report about Internet Exchange Federation. There are 3 similar organizations around the world. I mentioned EuroIX, and we have another one from Latin America, which is called IX. The 3 organizations actually signed an MOU on a global federation of IXP associations in November last year. And we will have, much more and more collaboration among ourselves. Our first goal is to make a IXP database because right now I think it's very hard to have a very complete set of IXPs all around the world. And we need that so that people can get accurate and up-to-date information. And this is the MOU that we signed. And we also have other action items to deal with. First of all, we need to form a legal entity. This is not a simple job. We'll do it gradually. And also we'll talk about membership fee. We need funding, so definitely we need some income for that. Membership fee is one of them. And we need to improve our website. This is another difficult task. We need help on this. And we need more global collaboration going forward. And if you are an ISP, if you want to join, please contact us at this email address. And we will have our next meeting in Xi'an, co-located with APNIC 36. And we would like to thank APNIC for helping us to provide the meeting room facilities, coffee and snacks. And also with Brian Westmoreland and George Gore to help our election on Sunday. Oh, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any questions or comments? It's fantastic to have a global IX federation. It's very good. Anything? Yes? Okay. Thank you very much, Chihu. So, these are all for the report from the various sessions. And now we are going into the section of the introducing the forthcoming meetings. The first thing is that we are now having a global Internet Governance Forum meeting in Bali, Indonesia. So the hosting group of the Bali IGF, please come up to the stage and make an attractive introduction to the Bali IGF.
Good afternoon, all. Thanks to the chairman and EC and APIX Secretariat and also the community for the time to share this IGF, the 8th IGF Global Internet Governance Forum. Michio Kaku, a theoretical physics of New York City, once said that Internet is the type 1 communication system, type 1 civilization communication system, while the other utility of life, such as energy and transport, is still in type 0 of civilization. So thanks to all of us that make that happen. As we know, and it's also presented that the Internet has got to every corner of our life. And IGF become a dialogue forum to discuss about Internet governance from various perspectives. It's so relevant for stakeholders whom have interest to the Internet, with various of other issues such as limited, but not limited to, as security, law, economic, and development, which we, as a business and technical stakeholders, would like to be heard and give our voice to in the forum. Though IGF is not a decision-making process, but the discussion within IGF set the color of decision on the internet governance globally. Decision makers are attending the IGF, and when dialogues are happening there, we are talking to the right people. So in regard to this, the 8th IGF Global will be a truly new model for multi-stakeholder approach and funding. And how is it? In Indonesia, this will be a first model compared to other 7 models that is hosted by the government and by the UN. Here, the first time that Indonesian government become one of the multi-stakeholders, and the businesses and the civil society under group of IDIGF multi-stakeholder forum will pioneer and hosting the Global Internet Governance Forum in Bali. On the decision and these stakeholders, I think it's all in sync on what we have been discussed during this week, which is given by Carl Wilson on the meeting booklet, and also speech by Lin, CEO of ISOC, and Fadi, CEO of ICANN. So as said, so this approach also required a global participation in the funding of the event too. But we believe that the success of this model will ensure sustainability and the opportunity for the underdeveloping countries and emerging countries to host and participate in this important forum. Discussion about this has been, we started in Indonesia since 2010. And we are distributing a book also, Introduction to Internet Governance Forum. We translate that to Indonesian language. On 1st November, Internet multi-stakeholders, we joint declarations the founding of the IDIGF. If you take a look at these pictures, on the right side is where the government helping us on the talking to the local government with the UN guys there, and on the left side you see that how we come out with the key terms, keyword terms for the IGF 2013 in Bali. We expected that this intimacy of creating the terms will also continue in creating and making the public policy in the future. Now, for further about the terms, you can visit the IGF website. Here, as you see in this chart, we are all the multi-stakeholders. So I'm not taking too long on it. But as I usually say to my friends, that money is not everything. But without money, most of things can't move. So this is the budget summary. Total are 2.5 million US dollars. But frankly, we are sort of 95 to 90% of it. So we are arguing, all of us, to globally participate in the funding, as you are one of the fish in the pond of internet ecosystem. If the ecosystem is right, we are going to reach the 3 and 4 millions of internet users without hesitations. And so the traffic will go even bigger. IGF in Bali will be very important for global internet governance because it's after WCAT, which is happened in 2012, and we know what happened there. If you do not attend the IGF 2013 in Bali, you will miss a lot of important discussion regarding internet governance. On the other things, you will miss the beauty of Bali. We are highly appreciated your support in fund, especially, but also other support such as technical in-kind network and referring us to the right person in your organization and community. If you have any queries, any suggestions, please approach us later or send us an email. At last, we are welcoming you to the 8th Global IGF at Bali, Indonesia, and see you all in Bali. Please enjoy this short film of welcoming you to the 8th Global IGF in Bali. Thank you for your kind attention.
Thank you very much. Actually, the having the IGF in the Asian country is really, really great thing. So I think that you've already had some talk with those guys, for your support for the IGF in Bali. So please consider about that. And I need to consider about that. But thank you very much. Oh, all right. They have a video, sorry.
Indonesia sejak dulu kala tetap dipuja-puja bangsa. Indonesia tanah air beta, pusaka abadi nan jaya. Indonesia sejak dulu kala tetap dipuja-puja bangsa.
Internet Governance Forum in Indonesia has started in 2010. The peak was the establishment of the Indonesia Internet Governance Forum, or known as IDIGF, in November 2012. It was based on the recognitions of the related stakeholders such as the government, the civil society, the private sectors, that managing the internet is just not a technical matters but also related to the other issues like law, security, human rights, freedom of expression, and development. It is also required an active participation from all the stakeholders. With that notion as our background, then we are therefore pioneering a truly multi-stakeholder forum in hosting the IGF 2013. This initiative is also intended to add momentum for the IDIGF and also to showcase the good practices that have been happening in these emerging countries. The new model for hosting the global IGF also requires a new approach to cover the cost of the event. It is therefore the IDIGF members are looking for assistance, support from related stakeholders, government, international organizations, private sectors to support the IGF 2013. We welcome your support and also welcome you to Bali in October 2013. We hope, amidst your very busy discussion on internet governance, you are still able to enjoy the beautiful island of Bali. See you there.
Fascinating. All right. Any questions, by the way? Comments? All right. I should move on to introducing the next meeting of the Asia Pacific Network Information Center in another fascinating city. Wendy, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. Me, Wendy again. I'm entitled to present our next meeting APNIC 36. Well, we start to thinking about the potential venue city which can host the August APNIC meeting. We start thinking about something different with most of you have been to like Beijing, Shanghai, probably you've been to Beijing, Shanghai, Guangzhou, Shenzhen, all these modern, fascinating cities. And we also want this meeting to impact most of the local community to bring the bridge of the digital divide. So we start making a list. CN is the first name pop up the list, and then we start making the list. We really like the city, so that's how we choose CN as the next meeting venue. CN with the historical, fascinating, the cultural side. Put aside, CN is the geographical center of the China, and is a living history book. I might not go through the whole book, but I'm going to give you a pretty preview that what kind of life and experiments you can have down there. As CN is the tourist city, that's very convenient to get a direct flight from Sydney, like Hong Kong, Singapore. And if you cannot get direct flight from your home city, you always can fly to Beijing or Shanghai and took an internal flight to CN. And there's another opportunity to give the local high-speed road train a try. And won't take long, only like 2-3 hours from Beijing to CN. At the time, we lock on the time of the last week of August this year, and you definitely want to secure that time and go to the meeting, because APNIC 20 years anniversary and going to celebrate in CN. And we're going to have a great event, and we might have our little exercise event on the side of me. The venue city, we all know the CN as the birthplace of the Asian civilization, the home of terracotta army. And also there's other fascinating side. You could only step off of the hotel and have checkout. Like the bell tower, you see that the night vision is fantastic. And there's a city wall, which is one of the well-being, what we say, Asian Army protect system, like the internet protect system. And the town paradise, which is the place the social event going to be hosted, used to be the rural garden. And even though we rebuilt it, but it still have the feeling as a king if you're walking around. And also there's typical terracotta museum, only like 30 kilometers away from the city center, worth to check out. And the Qinghua Hot Spring used to be the concubine spa place, has been famous since then. And the Qingming tomb was the first queen's tomb, and it's only the only queen in the China history. And the Huangdi tomb, which is a fascinating place to check out. On the side, you can also enjoy a little of the folk art aligned with the local food. CN used to be called the Table of Delicious. So you can also find your own favorite dishes down to local. This just for the people who motivated by the conference lunch and meal. So you got reason to be there. And the venue hotel, which is at the Westin in CN, is a 5-star hotel. It does all the other 5-star hotel does, and it's a brand new hotel started last year. And the fascinating is this hotel is sitting in the middle of the entertainment area. So the outdoor is so-called the Great Town All Day Mall. So you could finish all day conference, get fresh up, and start your night day again. So it's going to be a great event and great place. Welcome to CN. Looking forward to see you all. Apparently, I prepare a little video as well, which is totally different style with Indonesia, but hopefully you enjoy the video. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Okay. Then, let's have the open mic time. If you have any question, input, suggestion, discussion, please come up to the microphone.
Good evening, everybody. I'm SP Jairath from NICSI and ISPI India. I know all of us are now waiting to close this particular meeting, but if I recollect the meeting at Cambodia, we have one more proposal which has not been discussed during this particular total session. This was one vote, one member. I just wanted to check it up. What is the status on that? Because there were certain diverse views which were given in the last meeting, you know. And I just wanted to know whether this proposal is live, is working, or is it something is pending?
Thank you. Thank you very much for your question. You want to answer? Okay, James, please.
Thank you for the question. So at the Cambodia meeting, we announced the results of the membership survey. I think we, in general, covered this topic off, but certainly happy to provide more clarification at today's meeting. The results of that survey showed a much larger proportion of members were in favour of the current membership tiers. I don't have the exact numbers here, but I think it was 50% of respondents preferred the current membership voting standards. And I think only about 9% or 10% preferred a change in the voting. So based on that, the EC took a view that there's a large percentage of people support the current system. So we're happy with the current system, but we're always open to listen to concerns from members and happy to put the question to the membership base again at the time of the next survey.
James, I agree. There were two aspects on this particular proposal. One was the result of the survey, and second was before that particular thing, chair and co-chair was designated certain working group, activities, and on that particular thing, they have desired certain inputs from APNIC, and that data did not come, and that's why I think the whole proposal did not move forward.
Yeah, sure, Jeff. Sorry, I was just reading the transcript. My understanding that the results of the membership survey and the EC's decision was communicated to the working group chairs. And I mean, we can track down that email for you.
Okay.
Sorry, Jeff.
Jeff Houston, the Executive Secretary of the EC. We considered this at our meeting on the 30th of October, and published minutes of that meeting, and I believe we also communicated back to the working group the EC deliberation on that. It might be helpful to you if I read the minutes of that meeting, which actually explains the EC's considerations and actions. The minutes read, the EC considered the membership survey outcomes relating to the proposals arising from the final reports of the working groups on engagement with governments and membership voting. It was determined that the chair of the EC would communicate to the membership voting working group the results of the 2012 membership survey, indicating that according to this report, a large majority of respondents to the questions are satisfied with the current membership structure and support the existing voting tiers and entitlements. And given this clear outcome, the EC intends to take no further action at this time. Thank you.
Thanks, Jeff. I've just dug up the email that was communicated 21st of November to the working group from the chair.
Rajesh Charya, President ISPI, India. Mr. Job is speaking about the 30th of October, but we are speaking about the August Busan meeting, wherein into the working group meeting, co-chair and chair, Mr. Skiv and Mr. Desiwali has advised to the APNIC Secretariat for some inputs in regards to the data. That was being required. I don't know what happened after that, and even after the Cambodia meeting, Skiv and Desi has sent a mail into the working group. Even the person who has proposed this proposal has sent the mail into the working group, knowing about the status. If there is any development between August meeting of Busan and 30th October, that Job can clarify.
James, do you have any comment back?
My understanding was that out of the Busan meeting, there was a request for some statistics on the number of members per category. I believe that was provided at the time to the working group mailing list. Again, I'd have to check through the details of the
That input was not given to the chair and co-chair and to the working group. That data was not provided, and that's the reason the chair and co-chair has told you that in absence of any data, we were not able to comment on further about the group.
Look, I don't remember exactly every movement of what was posted to the list or not, but I know that that was a request made, and as I understood it, that a number of people promoted the data, maybe it wasn't the Secretariat, but certainly the data on the number of members, which is publicly available on the website, was, I believe, was probably, I think even Dean potentially collated that data and posted it, but yeah.
James, into the Busan meeting, in the working group meeting, I was also there, and that request was for the APNIC Secretariat, not from the website or anything. That was the report should have come from the APNIC Secretariat to the working group, then only the working group can work.
Certainly. Look, I'd have to go back through the mailing list records to see if the Secretariat provided that information. But certainly I don't think that is the key piece of information. The key piece of information that the APNIC EC used to determine that the membership voting structure should stay in place was the results of the membership survey. That has a much broader reach. We have, in fact, that survey goes out to all members rather than necessarily just the small group of members that are present at a working group or at an APNIC event. So I can certainly tell you that the APNIC EC used the results from the survey of members, which is how we take our guidance from the membership base is through that survey in coming to that decision. And as I think the numbers show, it's sort of 50% of people responding to the survey were in favour of the current voting. Only about 9% were in favour of a change.
I really appreciate and honour the decision of the honourable members about the survey. I'm not denying that. But if someone is seeking any report or any data input from the APNIC Secretariat and the working group is live, because after the Cambodia meeting, both the co-chair and chair and even the proposer has sent few mails into the working group and there was no response from the APNIC. That is the very surprising thing.
I'll absolutely take that on board. I'll make sure I go through the mailing list archive and investigate why that data wasn't provided by the Secretariat. If it wasn't provided, I apologise.
So what I presume that till the date you are not investigating about the data input served or not, the working group is live?
The working group is no longer live.
It's not live.
correct.
It's very surprising that the working group was created into the AMM and all of a sudden the working group died without any information to the chair and co-chair.
No, I think the chair of the EC communicated the decision on the working group and also on to the proposer and also to the working group. I've got the email here. I can quote from it if you.
No, it's
I'll
okay.
forward it through to you if you like.
But there is a gap between August and 30th October.
Couple of months. Okay, thanks.
Any other comments? Questions? Perspectives?
Now a different topic, Rajesh Sharia, President ISPI. This is the time of celebration in August 2013. The APNIC is celebrating 20th anniversary. SANOG, South Asia Network Operators Group, is celebrating 10th anniversary. India is being given entitlement for hosting SANOG in August first week. The dates are not finalized. On behalf of SANOG and ISPI and NICSI, I welcome you all to the SANOG in Mumbai 2013, August 1st week.
Thank you very much. Useful information. Thank you. Masato.
Thank you. This is Masato Softbank. And when we made these two working groups about voting and government, I think problem was mandate of these working groups or milestone or schedule. Everything was not so clear. Okay, so I prefer, from next time, I prefer make these things clear when making another working group. Thanks.
Thank you, Masato. Any questions or comments? Okay. We have the very smooth meeting until now. We are just on time. 4 minutes earlier, but anyway, okay. If there's no other question or comments, I'd like to invite Dr. Tantin Wee for his service as the election chair to provide us the results of the election. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Sorry, I have not arranged for the fireworks, just like the one you saw in a wonderful presentation from Sian. But here I am, happy to say that the results are here with me. I'm also happy to report that there are no disputes that have been brought up, to my attention at least. And I have called on both of the scrutineers to make a comment on the vote count process. And they have both told me that there were no anomalies to report. There were no irregularities with the counting of the ballots, and everything went well. Thank you to our Mark and Emilio for guiding us through this process. A round of applause for them. So I haven't even seen the contents of this envelope, so sounds like this is the Oscar nominee type of situation. But I will try my best to be as serious as possible with the reading out of the results announcement sheet. A 2013 APNIC Executive Council election, 1st of March 2013. Total paper ballots counted, 94. Total valid paper ballots, 94. Total invalid paper ballots, 0. Nominee name, number 1, not in any order, in order of total vote count. Gaurav Raj Upadhyaya, 1410, 1410. Nominee number 2, Wei Zhao, 1386, 1386. Nominee number 3, Kenny Huang, 1331, 1331. Nominee number 4, James Spenceley, 1314. That's 1314. And last but not least, nominee number 5, Ling Chiang Hong, 372.
Sure. Right. Okay.
Okay, right. So now the nominees who are successfully elected to the APNIC Executive Council are therefore Gaurav Raj, Wei Zhao, Kenny Huang, and James Spenceley, being the 4 top number of vote counts. Congratulations. I will therefore now hand over the results to the APNIC Executive Council Chair, Mr. Akinori Maemura, and to all the nominees. Thank you very much for your time taken to run for this election. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Again, it's really, really splendid election chair. Really amazing. Thank you very much. Really, that result is the clearest ever delivered to the APNIC members. Thank you very much. Okay. It's time to vote to thanks. Are you ready, Paul?
Thank you, Akinori. This is the time when, coming very close to the end of the meeting, when we really do want to give some sincere thanks to all of these sponsors and supporters of APNIC 35. We're all very deeply grateful for the support and attendance of the sponsors who have helped to make the meeting a success. So APNIC 35 was supported by IDA, the Infocom Development Authority of Singapore. So I'd like to first give a round of applause to IDA. Thank you very much. We have a training sponsor, which is Google, and I think we don't have a representative of Google remaining in the room with us, but Google again has come back and given some generous support for the training activities at the meeting, which is very welcome, of course. The Women in ICT and APNIC closing dinner events were sponsored by PH Colo. I think Judith is with us, and I've got a small gift for you, Judith, if you would like to come up.
Always a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you. the APNIC opening social event was sponsored by CNNIC and CNISP. And Wendy, I'd like to pass you the gifts for both. Thank you very much. And yes, we have Dong Yan as well for CNISP. Is Dong Yan still here? Please come up. The APNIC member meeting shared 5 sponsors from TWNIC, JPNIC, NICSI and KISA. And I've got, and CNNIC as well, I've got gifts for Xianzhong. Is he here? Excellent. Also Yasuko Sakaguchi, Rajesh Charia, of course, and Youngswon La, please. Yasuko Sakaguchi. Project. So more thanks. We have, as usual, many supporters, some old-timers, some newcomers, but thanks to Izumi and Jessica, to Andy, Masato and Steve, and Dean as SIG chairs, co-chairs and moderators, to Tan Tin Wei as the election chair for this year. We have APNIC members, newly reappointed and standing. We have many RIR colleagues here who have helped in various ways and always travelled far to come here. Too many speakers to list. The steno captioning is going on as usual. Nikki and Helen doing a fantastic job, thanks. And to everyone who attended, and also those who participated remotely online. It really is everyone who's here who makes the meeting a success and who can help to make it even better in future. And the next one in future is going to be, of course, in Xi'an. We'll see you there. Now, we do have special thanks for our local host, SGNIC. And they have received a gift yesterday. SGNIC was responsible for the apricot meeting, and I guess they've gone home to sleep and recover. But really, SGNIC deserves a big round of applause, as does everyone who I've mentioned. So thank you very much. the next meeting in Xi'an. We've seen the video, you've heard the speech, you know about the Terracotta Warriors, you know that it's APNIC's 20th birthday party. It will be a normal meeting, it won't be all fun and, well, the normal meeting is fun enough, but it'll be business as well. And so please, we really hope it's going to be a great success. It will be another mid-year conference which will have the week of tutorials and workshops, thanks to Philip and his team. It'll have the full program of normal APNIC business, and it will also have quite a bit of celebration. So I really do hope that you come, everyone here, tell your friends, your colleagues, find us a few extra sponsors to help to add a few extra frills to the party, and we really hope to see you there. See you in Xi'an.
Thank you very much, Paul. And then we are now approaching to the closure, but before that, Sunny will make some housekeeping notice.
Thank you, Chair. Just a reminder to take the survey while you are here in the room or back in the hotel before you leave, so we can capture your fresh thoughts in how we can improve our conference and what else we can provide you in terms of program content. That will be very much appreciated. Tonight's dinner, if you have paid for the dinner and have not collected your ticket, please go to APNIC Secretariat room to collect it from Laurel, my colleague. And if we still have a few more tickets left, if you like to pay and collect your ticket, you can do that as well. So the buses will depart from lobby at 6 p.m. to Straits Kitchen. And this is a one-way transport. After the party, you're on your own, you want to go somewhere else or just get back to the hotel. It's not too far. It's very walkable distance from here. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you very much. So I can say a lot of times thank you, but I think the Paul has already pretty much covered. So again, thank you very much. I see you in CM meeting.